the building? That's what wicked. You know, we have 12 official languages in South Africa, right? But when it comes to greetings, I actually like Chivenda. Because in the morning, there's a way of greeting. In the afternoon, there's a way of greeting. In the evening, there's a way to greet. And when you're feeling kinky, you go, my name is Queen, but Queen the Empowerer, and I'm a cast coordinator, a facilitator for this program. And I'd like to start by acknowledging our distinguished guest who made this event possible. Thank you, of course, to Dumisani Basilela Theatre for hosting us. Thank you to CMF. Thank you to NYS. Thank you to NYDA for continually empowering the youth. And thank you to Sada and Cciga for allowing us to facilitate and to be facilitated. So today is going to be a session that's kind of like engaging, you know? You know that facilitation is not about talking all the time, right? It's about you providing answers for yourself because you have answers within yourself. Because as an artist, most people don't take our career seriously. And that's why today I will be sharing on career guidance. Some of our family members don't take our work seriously. Anybody in this building who knows that their family members are like, I know I'm one of those people who is still questioned to date about why don't you just go plastic and get paid? Do you know what I mean? Because they don't take us seriously. Some of our friends don't take us seriously. And I'm gonna say this without disrespecting anybody, but sometimes even the very government does not take this industry seriously. But this is the very industry that when everything breaks loose, they run to it. You play R&B because an artist will save you. Somebody you've never met, they will save you. They will sing a song that will help you heal. And that's how important artists are. For this building to be designed into San Masilela Theatre, there had to be an artist that is drawing this venue first. But these are the very people who are taken for granted. You. Today we are all dressed, whether in t-shirts or in this garment. It had to be a designer that creates this. But these are the very people whom we still feel that they are paid the least in this very country. So here, we are here to start a revolution. We are taking ourselves seriously. Because let's take away the blame game aside. Sometimes people don't take us seriously because we don't take ourselves seriously. And that's why when we get out of here, we are taking ourselves seriously. Is that okay? Yeah. On a daily, my job includes booking you guys on set. So for the past 3 years, I've been working with background artists, featured artists, and some have gotten roles in movies, Showmax, Netflix, you name them. And they would have to apply via me. And the shock that I would get during the application process. You know what I'm saying? Can we take ourselves seriously? I mean it. I know that some of you don't do it. I know that some of you are not doing it deliberately, and that is why we have trainings like this to teach you that this is what you are supposed to do, and this is what you are not supposed to do. And in those words, I'm just going to give you a few tips, but I want you to engage that as a cast film coordinator who works closely with the casting director and directors, prepare your questions for me as to what do you think you don't make it through the application process and sometimes through the audition process. So, we're gonna start with this. You start, as an artist, you start by looking for an agency, right? Which I recommend highly. Yes, freelancing is great, but when you are still starting out, I would suggest that you find yourself a reputable agent that you're going to work with. I hope that you find an agent that is kind enough that lets you to also freelance while you are under them. The reason why I'm suggesting an agent is that I want them to help manage you, because when you're starting out, it's very difficult. So it's nice to call yourself a freelancer, but in true essence, finding a job for yourself when you're still starting out is quite hard. And that's where the agents actually assist you. However, you need to know that the agent is not your boss, you are the boss of the agent. So it's actually vice versa. Do you get what I'm saying? And that is not a card to disrespect the agent. Because technically, They are your boss in some degree also because they help you get a job. Correct?
How do we make sure that this program equips you, because this is a work readiness program? How do we move you to the next level? Because what we need to do is to take that and to develop it. That's why we're talking about business development. There's a lot of things. We will touch those when we are in our individual places, right? But how do we take that and move it to the next level? You need to be very clear. Your vision in that department needs to be very clear. So can I have, Queenie said, Mo, hauna a right or wrong answer. Again, because we cannot move with about 300 on a daily, but most people are lost. So how do we assist that? It's fine. This was, I just turned a certain age and then I decided to do what is called an arts night for my birthday celebration. No budget. Only wooden planks. I went and got artists around Cciga. That's why when I'm saying to you, I kind of have an idea. I know how to run an event. I know how stressful it is. I know how to work with artists. I'm not talking to you from a blind space. But it's so hard, even that journey of navigating the funding, and I've been registering it 2 years ago, but you're not active. Kini challenges starting. But what is going to keep you, this is what I want you to remember, is having goals. Goals will keep you. Goals will be your pillar. So smart goals, I'm not sure if you're able to see, but your goals, this is what's supposed to be. Your goals are supposed to be specific, they're supposed to be measurable, they're supposed to be achievable, they're supposed to be relevant, and they're supposed to be time-bound. That is what is going to keep you in the game. To tell yourself, to say, but I'm not a musician, international artist, because all of us want to be famous, right? Because when we think about art, when we think about being a musician, when you think about being a performer, all you think about is being famous. But where do you start? And what's going to keep you is your goals. Breaking them down for, okay, I'm very specific. This month alone, what I want to do is this. I want to at least get 100 followers on social media. How many of you have because most of you are not registered. But for those who are registered, do you guys have Instagram business accounts? Can I see that? Sure. You take everything serious, because once you become a business, you need to be registered. Those are things that we're going to be talking about. That's the business development. Like, how do you move from point A? You need to be compliant. You need SaaS. You need to be writing company profiles. I know artists are scared, because all artists want to do is to create. I want to sing. I want to dance. But when we start saying serious stuff, then let's sit, let's talk. Can you tell me clearly what your business is about? Are you able to articulate yourself?
So I'd like to call up on stage Umpo Mokhotsi, who is from Sisters in Arts, Messrs. Universe Africa 2022. So,
I'd like to call on stage Ndate Moeketsi Marumo, and he's going to be coming and giving us a message from the National Youth Service. So please, can you give him a big round of applause?
Those who know me will understand about CMF. Timesheets, contracts, all of those. I think there was a lady who was talking initially to say, you know, when an opportunity comes, you need to grab it. So I was involved in this program from the onset. I wrote the proposal. So my space, so my space is in developmental finance. That's what I do for a living. End of the program. Remember, it's election times. I was saying, guys, there is Freedom Day that is coming. What are we planning? What are we planning here at the Kurulena? What are we planning as a arts and culture? What are we planning for Freedom Day? You know? So what are we planning for, there's another function that is happening in March. What are we planning for it? Are we going to be quiet? Would want to see that from you guys. And to be honest, I think, although in the last 2 days we saw the unemployment numbers, they're very depressing. Very depressing. Between the ages of 15 and 35, we're sitting at about 60% unemployment rate. And I think that in this room, there's so much talent and creativity for us to be able to create our own vehicles, create our own opportunities in our own spaces.
We cannot be sitting and taking a back seat, right? So it's up to us to create opportunities for one another. And he tasked us. He said, what are we doing in this year? Do you guys have a plan? Does anybody have a plan? Can I see hands? No plan. 1, 2. Aye, guys. Aye. 3, 4. In this whole place, there's only 4 people that have a plan. 5. Right? 6, 7. Are we starting to wake up now? Are we waking up? Yeah. That's it. Remember, opportunities are not going to find you sitting like am I wrong? You need to go and find those opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere, guys. You need to collaborate with one another if you don't know where to start. Ndate Peter, please can you give us your message to the youth?
Sanbona. You guys are beautiful. Usis Eva, msebenzisana naye. Usivolunteer ku department yethu. Atuzoba ambassador and come and do things like this. Tell him Michelle Zanga, please. need more people like you, especially at your age now. We need people who can stand up, do things like this zone assistant. Department, it belong again. Nanisfuna nikhuluma noSisiva. Ne, angithi nama group eh.
This industry, this sector is going to be able to help you, but we need you to take the lead. Come to us and tell us what is it that you want to do, and then we can try and help you. Cciga, can you please just elaborate a little bit more in terms of what Dr. Peter was talking about with regards to community safety and the opportunities therein?
Thank you so much. Aye, aye, Kurlena, aye, aye. Aye, 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 Kurlena, aye, aye. My name is Ivan Tiso, and I think the majority of the creatives, they know me, who I am. I'm the diva of this industry, but you're all divas, right? In our own right. So, just to save time, I want to dwell more. I'm going to talk about what Osimpo is actually referring to. So, Ivan Tiso, she is the Take Charge campaign chairperson, Arts and Culture, under the Department of Community Safety. And as she said, I'm a volunteer at the department, and mainly because we saw an opportunity with different departments. They are dealing with different, issues, mandates. And as artists, we have the power to actually influence in all the departments. But the thing is, artists, they don't really understand how to do that. So if you look at the Department of Community Safety, their responsibility is all about safety and security, dealing with crime, GBV, people that are being human trafficked. But now, as an artist, how can you play a role in that? You sing music. How many of you guys are acting? How many of you guys are filmmakers? How many of you guys are on social media? So how about we help the department? How about we help the government in general with the messages that they're trying to express, or the message that they're trying to pass across to the society? We utilize our music, we utilize our films, we utilize every talent that we have to actually amplify the message that they're trying to pass across. So that is my duty, to go out there and find people like yourselves and say, hey, here's an opportunity. But now when you come to the Department of Community Safety, they need to understand that we can't all volunteer as artists. This is our career. If I go and perform, I need to get paid, right? This makeup is not cheap. This hair is not cheap. Somebody gotta pay for it. And because we are talented and we don't sleep our way to the top, this department, they need to pay us. But now, we also need to understand that the Department of Community Safety, it's not our custodian. The reason why I said to Osimpo, please call the Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation, because this is our home. But as much as the Department of Community Safety is not our home, they really need to understand that as much as we want to help them, let them also help us.
Wow, that is incredible, guys. I think she's given us so much to really think and take home, right? I mean, before she spoke about this, did you even know that there were such opportunities? Not quite, right? And I'm so glad that, we came all the way to Ekurhuleni, because we want to ensure that you are empowered. You know exactly where to go to, which doors to knock at. Like I mentioned earlier, it's 30 years of democracy. We should be out there talking about it. We should be out there singing about it. We should be out there dancing about it. Who's with me on this one? Wow, that's incredible. So, Ntate, Kikopo, introduce yourself, please.
Somebody, how are you good today? Masiphila sinenza kanjani. Angazi sihlala isikhathi eside but asikhombise impilo for lesikhashana lesi, so that whatever we have to share with you guys nibambe, and where you feel like you need to take notes kubalulekile, because sometimes brain waver, kuvuka sewungena endlini, and then we go through your notes and we begin to understand ukuthi this is another step. But in front of you, Usicelo Kangcobo, I work for the Department of Sport, Art, Culture and Recreation under the East Corridor, and with me I have my colleagues Ami, and we're introducer because this is a platform where you must begin to know us and also know the people behind the works. And if you are from that particular space or from these guys as an introducer, then you know where to go in terms of information. I do have Obatabile Ntabu, who's mainly focusing on Region B. That's where we cover areas around Tembisa. I have Charlie Mabasa, also now appointed for Region E, that's your Duduzas, your Takanye, Kwatema, and so forth. And then we have Ulondi, was strictly from East Corridor. So within East Corridor, we also have other regions, which we have Region A, which areas are those. We have Region B, C, D, E, and F. So when we are together with all those regions, we form what you refer to as a corridor. So that's your go-to space if you are from Ukraine. And then from that setup, that's where we will say it belongs to EP region, and then services can be rendered according to that. Because for government, we are driven by accountability, and if we are scattered all over, we can't really account. But if we are able to place each other according to our regions, then it becomes easy for issues of accountability on our side. So part of my presentation today will just to unpack some of the things that we do as a department. And I hear today that is roaming the space, opportunities. But I also want to make us aware that within an opportunity, there are challenges also. So Mahambala was able to put some opportunities, who's blinded and don't even think of our challenges that may come with those opportunities. So as I present to you, I want to also give you an element or a highlight of some of our hindrances or challenges that may stop you, so that you are aware, and as you plan within your own space, you know this is where I must work around, these are the things I might, and it goes to what the Usiswam was saying earlier on, when she was saying, sector there's what you refer to as a briefing form or a brief form. And it cuts across. I mean, by profession, I'm a visual artist. Before I came into a public sector, I said I'm a brief, and most of my life I was living as an artist before I decided to join the sector. And part of my reasoning for joining the sector, many things I advocate, because things were not moving. And as born as an artist, I'm practicing, yes, there's an element of money, but it doesn't really come for you to have a life commitment. So you will find a gig, and then the next one after 6 months, 12, and so that's when I was like, you know what, I'm here with space, because capacity. There's one thing about in as much as we can have a talent, also bring upon an element of capacity. Because through your capacity, either be indigenous knowledge or from people you are growing with, or academic knowledge, Leonto will always back you. When you have no room to go, you will always have your learning or whatever you want to call it as a source of backing you up. So Nami, as an artist, as I was practicing, because I wanted to explore and also to understand what is it that makes the art not to move. And you can only find that information in books. I can't tell you, because Nami, I'm frustrated by the system. But for you to have those answers, you must begin and start reading books and start doing research. And that's why I realized, for me to have an understanding of the sector, I need to go to school. And then I started practicing. And when I went to school, and it goes, I think for most of you in this house, because when you say the art, it doesn't sell. It will never sell. Plumbing, then they were like, yeah, we're going to support you. But as soon as you say art, one question and mostly by my dad, because I know he's sort of finance, was, where are you going to work? The art, and his response was, who said I want a job? Because I'm purely going there for issues of who's capacitator. I need to learn and understand the sector so that I can decide, do I want a job or do I want to practice? But allow me to learn first and understand, and then I can take my decisions out. So where I'm going with this is that, yes, you will find a resistance when it comes to support, especially from the immediate support. Yes, you will find a resistance from your peers. Some will be studying engineering and many other areas of also the developer. But now when you are within, and you are also important equally, because most of izinto ezenzakalayo emhlabeni or within the environment we live in ziqala art. That's why even in department yethu sibiza ngo-art and culture, because some of our artifacts aqhamukile abeqhamuka to address ama issues of the culture. You will find umuntu enza ukhamba, we call it ukhamba in Zulu, but it's a traditional poem, Calabash. So the purpose of local is to serve umqombothi through it, which umqombothi is a culture. But the significance of the art is in the molding and the making of whatever tool must become a cutlery. So that's why we are important. There's no movement without us. So we must begin to have value within us, so that we also begin to treat ourselves as a brand. Because if you have value, you will see yourself as a brand more than anything. And once you see yourself as a brand, then it will be easy for you to be able to open doors. And because even how you carry yourself, we are speaking when we backseat, but you push the you that is a brand within you. So those are some of the important aspects. Okay, but let me try and look into Usamgelo as a brand and then start using the brand of Usamgelo in carrying myself. I know when you are going out, so you shoot, but be able to distinguish between a private life